One of my favourite titles on creativity is Steven Pressfield's The War of Art. Break through the blocks and win your inner creative battles. What I loved about The War of Art was that it gave a framework and understanding to the experience of being an artist, a creative person. It talked about two main ideas. It talked about, I guess, being tapped into the state of flow when you're in the zone and the piece that you're working on, you don't know what the next step is, but it unravels right in front of you. Ideas just land. You're like, how did I even think of that? And you just feel like you're hitting the sweet spot. And it also talked about the resistance, the idea of the resistance, and how sometimes creating is like pulling teeth. And sometimes like the ideas aren't landing and it's just a sheer grind. But at the end, it's all worth it. Great book. And then Steven also followed it up with several other amazing titles. There's Do the Work, which I've got the hardcover edition. Turning Pro. The Artist's Journey. Put Your Ass Where Your Heart Wants to Be. And then Nobody Wants to Read Your Shit, which is sometimes how I feel. But yeah, great titles, and if you are a creative person, completely, utterly recommend them. But recently, Steven has taken all those titles and taken his knowledge from his social media, interviews, writing seminars, and put out the Daily Pressfield. Now, I ordered this. It is signed. It came from America, shipped. Shout out to him and his partner for, making it possible, because they didn't ship to Australia. And so this has a year's worth of segments from all those books. So, if you are to get one, I'd maybe recommend this one. But yeah, I was reading this, and this illustration really stuck out to me from the chapter, The Artist in the Trenches. And you can see that guy staring at that huge blank sheet of paper. And I was like, that is me, because here I am staring at this massive blank canvas as I work on my second book titled Home, a book about returning to oneself. There's a cover, there's me, photo taken during a trek in Mount Everest Base Camp. And down here you can see 2013, 2014. So the book starts with a chapter called The Call to Adventure. Anyone who is familiar with Joseph Campbell's The Hero's Journey, Call to Adventure, yeah. But it starts with me heading over to Tonga Island in the South Pacific to volunteer for a year. Something way out of my comfort zone. And I just am working through, I guess, the last 10 years and the transformative journey that I have been on, changing states, changing careers, lockdown, diagnosis with ADHD, 10-year single, finding a partner, finding my tribe. It's been a journey, and I'm putting into that book 10 years worth of journals, well, not word for word, but I am including segments of my journals into my book. But I'm going through those journals because I need to remember exactly where I was every step of the way. But that is my project, and I guess I'm making this video as kind of trying to, I guess, motivate myself, hold myself accountable. But also, as I said, being an artist in the trenches is such an isolating and lonely experience. So this is a shout out to anyone else who's working on something, because when I wrote my first book, which is Living in Cream, a metaphorically messy guide to a sweeter life, hard copy is like $13. You can get it. The digital version is free. But when I made that, I was actually in Tonga, so I wrote it in 2014. It was released, yeah. But I was in a different place, different mindset. I was, I guess, super optimistic. I thought this could be my big thing. This could change everything. It could go viral. I guess virality is what I was aiming for, or thinking about, right? I'm a dreamer. But what I found was that while I have, sold copies, printed copies, sent copies to people, it's not a huge thing. But in that process, I think having the book to reflect on, having sent it to people and gotten their feedback, I've really touched at its core, I think, the value of art and what we do, because it is the experience of connecting closer to yourself, and the transformative experience that happens to just create, because that's what it's about at the end of the day. And we live in a society where you say you're a creative and you might feel a bit of a hesitation to say, hey, I'm a musician, if I don't actually tour or sell CDs or have huge numbers of streams on Spotify. And as a writer, I even hesitate to use that word, even though I've had a blog since 2013 and written a book, because I'm not signed to a publisher or going on speaking tours. So yeah, we live in this society where it's all about the value, the commercial value, like how much money are you making. And that also gets to me, to be honest, because I do get that voice that says, what is the point? You've got work to do, other things to do. And I guess that's why I've been hesitant on working on this book as well. But I've learnt, what it's like to create and how much it changes you. And I enjoy looking back on Living in Cream and going, I'm so glad I created this at that time to reflect who I was. And it's really condensed who I am into this single. It feels, when I hold this, it feels like I'm holding a baby, honestly, because I'm like, I made this, and that's something to be proud about. I have a friend, actually, his name's Jimmy. I met him at my last office job, and one thing we connected on was like, hey, we're both here, but our hearts are somewhere else, and he's a musician, I'm a writer, so we really bonded over the fact that, like, we both create in our spare time, but, obviously not to huge success, but it's just so important to our own well-being. And I'm actually going to end this video with the voice message, one that Jimmy sent to me, and I want to share it with everyone, because I think if you're a creative, it's going to help you, along with maybe checking out Steven Pressfield's work. You can definitely start with The War of Art, because it's more accessible. The other book is a bit big and chunky and shipping and all that. I get it. But yeah, I'll end with Jimmy's message. But to anyone else in the trenches, keep creating. I have been working on my book. A strategy that's worked for me, honestly, instead of going, I need to do this chapter and getting to the end of the day and just having no for it. One thing I've been changing my mindset around is going, let's just have a daily practice. If I can sit down for 10 minutes and just put my ass in the chair and use 10 minutes or use an hour, maybe some days I'll have a good hour. Maybe some days the hour will be a bit of a grudging along. And that's okay, because it's just about the time. And that's taken the pressure of me to hit gold every time. And through that, I've actually been accomplishing more. And I know eventually I'll come back around and just, edit. But yeah, it's been a pretty good reframe on getting it done. And along with just sharing with people how it's going, so it's not as a lonely experience. And that motivates me to keep working on it. Yeah, what I'll do is end this with the message that the voice message Jimmy sent to me. But yeah, thank you for tuning into this video. A little bit of a behind the scenes where I'm working. That is my little station. That is where the magic happens. Not talking about the bed behind me. And actually, yeah, I've got this Amy McNee, who does some great work as well has she puts out these messages on creativity. Her Instagram is like full of her holding these like signs, and I actually printed a whole bunch of them out into like a thing. So this one says, "Stay the course, show up consistently, but know that ultimately your art has a timeline of her own and it must be respected." Yeah, so thank you for watching, and hopefully in the next one I'll have an update on my book. Maybe I'll be 50% through, but I aim to have it done by April 2024, which will mark 10 years since Living in Cream was finished. So yeah, 10 years of learnings, self-discovery, mashed into a book, and I just want it to inspire other people to seek the road less traveled, and reflect on their own experiences, and just, I guess, pursue their best sort of self and explore this world as the adventure that it is. And it's weird because at its core, I don't think I'm remarkably talented person or anything. I just, didn't give up on myself and just had a crack at a few things and stayed curious and continued to seek, and that's where how I've got to where I've got to. Cool. Thank you.
What's up, bro? Yeah, I feel you, bros. Art is hard. Art is hard. But what would the world be without art? Can you just imagine if there was no such thing as art? It would just be, it would just be god awful. That's what it would be. I think. Fuck. It'd just be capitalism and making money and just working working bullshit jobs, meaningless jobs, producing meaningless things. Be fucked, man. So, yeah, you need to keep the torch burning, bros. That's what you got to do as an artist. You're one of the you've been chosen by a higher power. It ain't easy. It's a tough road, and most of us will never get any of the accolades that we maybe deserve. Nothing. You don't get any money. You won't make any money out of it. You maybe even get that much praise, credit. Nada. But yeah, it's still good. It's not about that, I guess. Yeah, bros. With the last line of defense, without us, what would the world be? Yeah, well, that's good to hear that you're making progress, because I agree that sometimes you just need to get stuff down, like a chapter down, and as you said, you just need to finish it, and then you can go back later and polish it. But I with the music, yeah, I find like psychologically I do that too. Like I need to feel like I'm getting somewhere. So quite often when I do the first say when I start a song, I lay down as much as I can, as roughly as I can, so that like I've kind of got a song like straight away, and because then it makes me feel like, oh yeah, I'm getting somewhere. And then I always can go back and redo stuff, and quite often I have to, because there's I might fuck up some bit, or yeah, but it just gives you that sense of, yeah, like you're getting somewhere, because if you kind of were to go over, say, if I was to go over one guitar line 100 times, or if you were to go over one passage of writing, then like one little part of the chapter, then you might, you just feel like that's when I get stuck. So yeah, I've realized the key is just to smash stuff out, just to get like a rough, like get it down roughly, and then then you can go back and fix it up. But also I find quite often I'll use the original tracks. So when I go back, and it's I would say almost 50% is sometimes the first take, like first vocal take or first guitar, because it just I don't know, is the one I go with. So yeah, I guess that's with writing too. Like even if you think it needs to be polished, sometimes you go back and go, actually, this is kind of it just has more soul or something. Yeah, because obviously you can over polish stuff. Yeah, that's cool, man. Yeah, it's a nice feeling as well to just accomplish something and finish it, and I think, and obviously, you obviously, as any artist, wants some recognition and would love for it to be popular and praised, but there's no doubting that, but I think it's just as important as kind of completing something. I feel, because not doing it, choosing the easy way and just going, oh fuck it, it's too hard, what's the point, blah blah, it's definitely makes me more depressed. So you just gotta battle through those thoughts. There's many times when I'm just like, why the fuck am I even doing this? But I just try to get through those days, and I think it helps. The best way to get through that is to get inspired and then lay a track down, or lay a chapter down. And you're right. I mean, feedback, when you get actual legitimate, authentic, real positive feedback, is incredible, isn't it? It's like, fuck, because it's fine for your friends that are always going to go, yeah, that's cool, and your mom. My mom doesn't really mean a lot, but like, when that's what really keeps you going, is those people that you don't know and take time out and either listen or read and go, yeah, I like it. And fuck, I gotta say, I don't get a lot of that, but that's the stuff that really keeps you going, because it reminds you that, okay, this is worthwhile, and it's good. It's good. It's got appeal. Not everyone's going to like it, but it's got appeal, and people, if they're exposed to it, will like it. So yeah, bro, it's hard though. Art is fucking hard, and I think your art form is the hardest. I've said that before, without a doubt. Writing is fucking has to be the hardest. It's just a lonesome journey. It's like a marathon, all by yourself. You're just by yourself, all alone. No one to bounce ideas off. You just gotta bash this thing out. It's difficult. So, yeah, man. Yeah.